Okay, guys, the finale of the videos tonight. Um, I wanted to start trying to do a wrap up of my events. Clearly, I didn't do this in a wrap up for my most recent event because it was September 8th. It was a wedding for Tyranny Russell, now Brown, and her new husband, Wallace Brown. They were married at Concord, Fortress of Hope, on Longview. It's a large church. It was my first time in that church, and it was a very nice wedding. It was a beautiful day. It was, after all the raining and stuff we had, Saturday turned out to be a really pretty day. Miss Russell, she hired me just for coordination purposes. You know, she already had everything done for her planning, and she did a great job. Whoever she had do things, she had help her with things. It went well. Um, the rehearsal, went through it a few times. She asked to even go through it a couple of more times. It was neat. And I'm always kind of hesitant going into a church that has their own wedding coordinator, where they have their own team, because I have to be careful not to step on anybody's toes, but the team, we worked well together. The wedding, it was nice. It was really nice. Her dress was awesome. I mentioned her dress and her bridesmaids' dresses. It was Vera. It was awesome. It was a really nice. It was soft pink and it was ivories and just sweet. In my opinion, it was sweet, nice, sweet colors. I love pinks for weddings, pinks and ivories and soft colors. It sets the tone for a really calm day, and it was a nice wedding. Something new happened to me that's never happened. Um, the bride's son, after the ceremony, he's a little guy. He wasn't feeling well, and he threw up on her dress. And I rushed to go get water. Her sister grabbed, some saline, some contact solution. So we were like spraying stuff on her dress, and the bodice of her dress, well, the corset of her dress, because it was a two-piece dress, though, it the corset of her dress was applique and crystals, and so we're trying to save the dress because they hadn't taken pictures yet. And, we were trying to clean this out of the dress, and then one of the coordinators from the church brought Lysol wipes. I'm like, okay, Lysol, okay, it's not bleach, so let's just try it. At this point, let's just try anything. And her dress was light pink. It wasn't white, thank God, because that saved it, that saved how much you were actually able to see. And it worked. So, with that being said, brides out there, if something happens to go on with your wedding dress, and if it's vomit, try Lysol wipes. I will definitely be putting them in my emergency wedding day kit now. That, along with a Tide pen. I don't know why I don't have that. Out of everything I have needles, I have thread, I have Tylenols, I have, safety pin. I have all the stuff that, yeah, okay, yeah, you need that. But I never thought about what happens if somebody gets sick and throws up on their dress. If it wasn't the baby, it could have been things like that can happen. Nerves, hello, it's your wedding day. So, that was different. That wasn't the highlight of the wedding, but it was definitely something that I had to, be quick on my toes for. It was a very nice ceremony, and I'm very appreciative for anybody that entrusts, a wedding planner. That's a big, that's a big job. You're trusting your your most special day with, you're trusting that with someone. And anytime that someone even talks to me about doing their wedding, even if, for whatever reason they decide not to hire me, the fact that they consider, paying me is awesome, because that's a big day. That's a big day. That's a lot to trust. You have to have a lot of trust in somebody to trust them with one of the most important days of your life. And with that being said, her wedding was on the 8th, and it's so weird because it's like the stars were aligned almost, because then, uh, you know, the 10th was the first anniversary of my first wedding clients under the KME brand, Mr. Marcus, Mr. and Mrs. Marcus Taylor. I didn't blog about their wedding. That was before my husband actually suggested that I blog. I didn't blog about their wedding. But I remember everything like it was yesterday. Of course, all brides come with a folder. She came with the folder, and she wasn't sure what she wanted, and she's like, I just want a simple wedding and all that stuff. She knew what her colors were gonna be, but she didn't know what her flowers were. And as we talked, and you know, everybody says they want a simple wedding, but once they realize how important their wedding is, and this is the only time that you're gonna have this day, you know, all these ideas start flourishing and everything. And when after all these months of planning, and and all of the budgeting, and all the logistics that go into it, you're doing it for that moment where where you open the doors for the bride to walk down the aisle, and you hand her bouquet, and you give her to her groom. Her dad's actually giving her to the groom, but you know this is it. We did it. This is what all the stress was for, that moment to get them down the aisle. And it's great. It feels, it's, I don't think it's anything that you can get used to. Maybe because I hold it so close to my heart, and that's why I don't think I ever let my business get so big that my feelings start to waver, because that feeling of watching the bride that you've been working with all these months, or with the wedding from Saturday, with just a couple months, you see them go down the aisle, and that's it. You've gotten them down the aisle. That was your main goal, and to make sure, of course, that they're not stressed, or to try to take as much stress from them as possible. That's something that words can't explain, and it's awesome. So for the September weddings, I guess September's our month. I hope it's not September before we get our next wedding. Crossing our fingers. Um, you know, so congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Wallace Brown, and of course to my first Mr. and Mrs. Marcus Taylor. Thanks, guys.